Hey everybody, welcome to Discard and Draw. I'm Steel, this is my brother Tank, and today we're reviewing 5 Minute Dungeon. This is a cooperative card game. Tank, tell me about this game.
Well, this is actually a brand new game that I just got because I backed it on Kickstarter, and it actually takes 5 minutes to play. Because if you don't get through the dungeon in 5 minutes, you lose. You lose the whole game. And this game is cooperative, so you are all working together to get through the dungeon and defeat there's like 5 or 6 bosses that you can pick from. So we're going to open it up and we're going to take a look and show you what it's all about. So these are all the components that come with the game. The little figure here is actually a Kickstarter bonus. So I don't know if this is going to come with a retail copy or not. But this is the first boss that the weakest boss, I guess I should say, in the entire stack of bosses, the Baby Barbarian. And so this is a neat little figure that I got for backing the Kickstarter. You're also going to get, these are all the boss cards that you're going to be fighting. There's the Baby Barbarian, and then it goes, they get progressively harder. And the last two were actually also, I think they were also Kickstarter bonuses. So I don't know if the last two will be in the retail copy or not. But there's 5 that were the base bosses that they started with. So you also have 5 class boards, and to start the game, everyone's going to pick one to be, and they're double-sided. So, like for example, this side is the Paladin, and then on the other side is the Valkyrie. Most of the rest of them have one side's a guy and one side's a girl, and they actually have different abilities on each side. So there is besides the name and the sex, there is actually a difference in the which side you pick. So, like for example, the Paladin has Smite, which is discard 3 cards to defeat a monster, and the Valkyrie has Inspire, which is discard 3 cards to make everyone else draw 2. So you will have a different ability too, depending on which side you pick. So everyone's going to pick one of these boards to be. I'll just pick this one, I guess. And you pick which side you want. And then you're going to get your same color deck of cards. So I picked the Barbarian Gladiator, so I get the red deck. Steel's got the Paladin and gets the yellow deck. And actually, all the decks, when you lay them out like that, they form the 5 symbol here, which is really neat. Now, in a 2-player game, what you actually do is you pick a second deck to shuffle into your class deck for one of the other class decks. Because a 2-player game is significantly harder, because each of these decks has a certain number of these colored symbol cards, and that's how the game is played. You use these cards to defeat monsters, and so the Barbarian has a lot of the red cards, a decent amount of the yellow cards, but not very many of the blue or the green cards. So, if we are both characters that have low numbers of one color, we're going to be at a severe disadvantage. So, in a 2-player game, you're going to pick one of the other decks to shuffle into yours, and you play with a much larger stack. But in a normal game, if you had 3 or more players, everyone would just have their own deck and play with that. So next you're going to pick the boss that you're going to be fighting, and the Baby Barbarian is the easiest one, so that's the one they recommend you start out with. So once you pick your boss, you look at the boss card, and right at the bottom there, it shows you how many dungeon cards you need to put on this boss card to play the boss. These here are the dungeon cards. They just look like a door there. Nothing on it. So you're going to take this number of dungeon cards, and you take the whole deck, you shuffle it up, and then take however many the boss card says. So in this case, 20. So take 20 of these. There you go. And then you also take, from this deck, these are the harder dungeon cards here. And you're going to shuffle this up, and you're going to take 2 of these for each person playing. So in a 2-player game, it would be 4. Take 4 of these harder cards, and you're going to shuffle these into the dungeon deck that you built. Shuffle that all together. Let's not put one of those on top. And put that on the boss card, and you're all set to go. So you can play up to 5 players with this game, and based on how many people are playing is going to determine how many cards you're going to be drawing from your own deck. So in a 3-player game, you would draw 4 cards. In a 2-player game, you would draw 5. And if you're playing with 4 or 5 players, you're going to be drawing 3 cards each. So we'll just pretend we're playing with a 3rd person.
You all are playing with us.
Yay. So now all you need is a timer of some sort, and the people that made this game actually developed a timer app. If you have a smartphone, you can go and download it from the App Store, and the timer app actually even has a couple of narrators to give you some voice to go along with the timer app for when you start and when you finish and when time's running out and stuff like that. So, for example, this has got 2 kind of generic ones that they started with, and then one of the stretch goals was getting John Bailey to do a voice as well. So we're going to select John Bailey for fun, and hopefully you will be able to hear this.
Alright, listen up, team. We're going into that dungeon, and we're killing that baby. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom, and then you go. And the timer just starts counting down. When it gets to a certain point, he'll warn you you have this much time left and everything. Should you not defeat the dungeon in the time limit, you lose. So you literally have 5 minutes to play this game. So the timer just runs. And like, you can use any... Yeah. You can use any timer app to keep track of time, I suppose. But it was nice that they made like a free one that you could download for this game. That was cool. With narrators and everything. Like, so if you win... You press the Wii 1 button.
You live.
Oh, that was it? I thought there was more.
That's it. You live.
I thought there was more.
Good job.
And there's 3 narrators, so you can change it to whatever you want. So once time starts, what you're going to start doing is start flipping over cards from the top of the deck here and trying to beat them. You beat them by playing the matching symbols from your hand that are on the monster card. So, for example, the Duck of Canterbury requires a scroll, one of these jumping men, and then a shield to defeat. And there are no turns in this game because it's timed. Everyone basically plays at the same time. You all put in cards to defeat whatever's up at the same time. So you're all kind of playing and just drawing yourself as the game goes on. So we would all be like, okay, we got to play something. I got a shield. I play a shield.
I got to run a man.
We don't have any scrolls, so I have to draw. And this is, or, okay, no one's got any scrolls. I can use my ability to discard 3 cards to defeat a monster. So, because he's a monster card. So I would discard 3. He's beaten. So these cards are, the cards that you play are out of the game. They're not in your discard pile. They're just removed. If your deck runs out, you're knocked out. And you can't do anything anymore. Once you're out of cards, basically, you're out. You can't There are cards that'll let you reshuffle anything that may be in your discard pile back in. Only a couple of like the Paladin's got heal. So you can shuffle your discard in.
And this says choose a player to put their discard pile back on top of their draw pile.
Yeah.
So it could be, I could use it on anybody.
Yeah.
Including myself.
But the cards that you play are not counted in that. They're removed from the the game as soon as you play them, and you can play cards that like don't defeat the monster that's up just to get rid of them or whatever. And like if say we both played a shield at the same time, well we both played it, you wasted a shield. That's just how it is. You played the card, it's out, it's done. You can't take it back. Once it's played, once it's on the table.
Right.
So you got to kind of talk too, otherwise you're all going to be just
Throwing down the same stuff
Yeah.
and wasting your cards.
wasting your cards. So you got to play smart in this game too. Smart and fast. So once you defeat a card, you just flip over the next one. You just keep going. When you use cards, you draw back up to your hand size, which is, like I said, in a 3-player game, it's 4. And you just keep going until you get through the entire deck. Once you get through the whole deck, there's a few symbols on the boss card itself. You have to play all of those. If you do that, then you beat the boss and you win. You have to do it all in 5 minutes. And the boss, unfortunately, you cannot play cards just to get them out of your hand when you're fighting the boss. You can do that with the regular dungeon cards, but you cannot do that with the boss. You have to actually only play the cards that he needs to defeat him. So like for this boss, I would be like, okay, there, I've got that. Now I got to draw a couple cards, and now I can't do anything because I'm out of cards that I can play. And so we would just end up sitting here until time ran out, basically. So you got to be prepared for the boss at the same time. Now, in addition to cards with one symbol on them, there are cards with multiple symbols, sometimes 2 different ones, sometimes 2 of the same one. Those, obviously count as more than one symbol. There are also, each class deck has special ability cards, like Barbarian's got this Mighty Leap, which is defeat an obstacle, so I don't even have to play any, like this, a chair that is very uncomfortable. It's an obstacle. I could just play Mighty Leap, and we beat that. That's it. No one has to play any of the symbols. Or Steele's got the healing card that he showed.
Yep.
I've got Enrage, which is choose 2 players to draw 3 cards. That could be useful.
The yellow deck has the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch, which is defeat any card.
And that includes the boss, too. You can literally defeat the boss with that.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Save that card.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that. I thought it was just for a card.
No, I'm pretty sure I read that it can defeat the boss monster, too. So...
more health potion.
Yep.
Everyone draws 3 cards from their discard.
The wizard sorcerer's got Fireball, defeat a monster. That's a lot of fireballs.
Then there's cards like this, Divine Shield, where you pause time until somebody plays a card.
Yep.
And with this card, all players draw 1 card.
Yep. And that's the only way to stop time during the game, is to play a card
Special
that lets
cards
you...
like that.
I mean, it's nice because it gives you a chance to
regroup.
Yeah, to regroup and take
figure out what everybody's doing, and
you're like, okay, where are we at?
Yeah.
So it can be useful to do that. So, but that's it. I mean, you just play through the deck, try and beat the boss. If you beat the boss, go on and fight the next one. They get progressively harder. There's more cards added to the dungeon deck. This is one of the Kickstarter ones. This is actually 20 regular cards plus 10 of the harder ones plus 2 for each player. So there's a lot of the really hard ones in this guy. And then the final form of the Dungeon Master, which is just absolutely ridiculous because it's 50 dungeon cards and then you got to do all this.
That's where I would hang on to the hand grenade and use it on that guy and
blow him up.
Mm-hmm.
If we get that far.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. That's the whole game. It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then
you either win or you lose.
Then you play again, because it's fun.
Yeah.
You can switch. Be like, I want to be this guy now.
So Tank, what do you think about this game?
I like this game. I'm actually very glad I backed it on Kickstarter. This is a really neat, like, I don't want to say filler game because it's fast and you can play it, a couple times in a row and, be fine, like, and go through the different bosses and stuff. It is kind of a filler game, but I don't want to say that like it's a bad thing. Because it's not. This is a really good game. This is a fun game. This is something you can play like on board game night when you're like in between games sort of thing. Or start out board game night. You pull this out. Play a couple rounds of this, Get things going.
It's a good start to a board game night.
And they did a really good job with it. All the components are really nice. The artwork is really nice. The cards are hilarious. I mean, all the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really my only complaint, is that when you're playing, you don't get to appreciate the humor on the cards because you're trying to beat them so quickly that
Right.
you're not looking at it. Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
looking at the name or the picture. You're just looking at the symbols.
Right.
So you got to like, to really appreciate the actual cards, you got to look through it when you're not playing,
Right.
basically. That's really my only complaint is, like, I feel bad, basically,
Right,
that you
right.
can't appreciate the humor that's in there
Mm-hmm.
on these cards, because they're all hilarious. I mean, there's, like, look at this guy. A cactus that wants a hug. That's funny. And you beat it by using 3 shields. And he looks so happy. He's just like,
He just wants
"I
a hug.
want a hug." And you don't want to hug him.
No.
Because it's going to hurt. So,
Shields.
yes.
Shields up.
So there's a lot of really, and all the artwork is great. I love the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork looks really nice. They did an excellent job with that. And this is just really cool. I just really like this. Little baby barbarian figure. It's a neat little bonus. They actually did a vote on this guy. It was, they did a vote, all the backers. Do you want this figure or an actual, like, timer? Like an hourglass sand timer. And everyone voted for this.
Well,
because everyone's got a phone, so
everyone has a stopwatch now.
They had the app, so it was like, we don't need a timer because we got the app.
Especially because they have the app too. Yeah, it's no-brainer.
So everyone was like, "Yeah, the barbarian figure is really cool." So, which I was happy about because I did vote for that.
Right.
So that's really neat. It's just a fun game. It's just a fun, and it's nice for the players in your group that have trouble focusing on a game and get distracted easily. They can't get distracted when they're playing this game.
Right.
They have to focus because otherwise you're going to lose. And it's so fast paced. It goes, and it takes 5 minutes.
Right.
Unless you're.
And even if they do get distracted, you're going through the game so fast that, you could almost be
if
done
they're
with
distracted,
the game.
they're not playing.
Right, yeah,
So
exactly.
But it's a lot of fun. I like this game. This is great. I'm kind of interested to see what kind of expansions they might come out with for this.
Yeah.
Maybe some new classes or
Bosses.
new bosses, some new cards for there's a lot of dungeon cards too. That's the other thing. There's a ton of these things. This plus, there's what do we put 4 in here? Yeah. So there's this many dungeon cards. And then you've got, the extra. You're only ever going to use 10 of these. Well, except for the Kick 9000. Because you add 10 plus 2 for every. So you could potentially have 20, which may actually be the entire deck. I'm not sure.
Might be.
But there's a lot of dungeon cards. So this is a really neat game, and I'm very glad that I backed it on Kickstarter. What do you think of this game?
I like this game too. I agree with everything that you said. The artwork's great. The cards are hilarious. It is a shame that you don't get to appreciate them when you're playing.
Yeah.
Because you're going so quick, you don't even care what it's called. You just, what's the symbols? What's the symbols?
Yeah.
But it's it's neat that they have the app too. That's free. It's really a unique card game, and that is very enjoyable for me.
Mhm.
So I give it 2 thumbs up. Really.
Yeah.
It's-
The app was a nice touch too.
Yeah.
Getting the voices and everything.
Right.
It gives you because with a game like this, if you're using a sand timer, you're not paying attention to it, so the time could run out without you realizing it,
Right.
and then
Well, with a sand
know.
timer, it'd be hard to pause that though.
that too, yeah.
So you
So-
you pretty much literally have to use a stopwatch of
Yep.
some kind, so you can pause it for those certain
Or
cards.
an app, some kind of app.
some kind of app.
So, yeah. So
But-
the actually making an app for it
Right.
was a really nice touch, and the app is very nice. It's very well made. It looks nice. It's got the 3 voices you can pick from, which are cool. They got John Bailey to do a voice, which is neat,
Yep.
and it was just everything just came together really nicely on this game.
Seems like they just did a really good job
They did.
with everything that they tried to do. They did it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, all the components are really high quality. The cards are high quality. The mats are high quality. They're
Yep.
nice thick cardboard. Same with the player boards. They're double sided, which is cool.
Yep.
So you can pick what kind of ability you want to go along with your deck, and there's plenty of dungeon cards to choose from. I mean, a lot of these may have been stretch goals too, if I remember correctly. So, I don't know what the retail copy is going to come with. This is the Kickstarter copy. So, but you're going to get at least the 5 bosses. All of these were just in the game. And you're going to get, a decent amount of dungeon cards. I don't remember exactly. I don't know if they're... I mean, they may also put all the stretch goal stuff in the retail copies. I'm not sure. So, but this is the Kickstarter copy. I don't know if you'll get the figure either. That's why you back these on Kickstarter. You get the cool stuff, So, if you missed out, I'm sorry. But still pick it up in retail because it's still a good game.
30 seconds remaining.
That's it for this episode of Discard and Draw. I'm Tank. That's my brother Steel.
like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, do what you gotta do, and we'll see you in the next review.
Time paused. You live.
Oh,
That was close.
that was close.
Almost didn't make it.
Ugh.
But we made it.
We did. We live.
Thank you, John Bailey. So the game plays up to 5 people, and depending on the number of people... Let me do that again. Steel, what do you think of this game?
Your face made me laugh.
That's harsh, bro. So Steel, what do you think of this game?
I actually really like this game. That's it. Done.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. So Steel, what do you think of this game?
I like this game. There's certain... So Tank, do you... What am I asking you?
What?
Do you like this
I
game?
don't understand. So, what do you think of this game?
I like this game. I really do.
I'm sorry. Sorry, you were just like, I like this game. I really do. It was all serious and then you didn't say anything. You were just like, yeah.
Yep, that's it.